Hi, everybody. I'm Greg Fishel, and welcome to the September 14th edition of the official Metscast. And I guess my question for all of you is, are you as disillusioned with this team as I am right now? I mean, I try to look for the positive, but tough to find positives right now. And Howie Rose brought up an interesting stat earlier tonight that the Mets are the first team since 1968 to be as far above 500 as they are, to get swept at home at the end of the season by a team as far below 500 as the Cubs. Now, to put that in perspective, that team was the Detroit Tigers, and this was before divisional play, so you just either won the pennant or you didn't. And they had already wrapped up the American League pennant that year, so the three games they lost at home in a row at the end of the season were the last three games of the season when they had nothing to play for other than to warm up for the World Series. And obviously, they didn't need those last three games to warm up because they won the series in 7 against the St. Louis Cardinals, coming back from being down 3-1 and beating Bob Gibson in Game 7, who had a 1.12 ERA that season, something that is just absolutely remarkable. They were talking before Jacob deGrom got hurt last year about the way he started, perhaps him making a run at that 1.12 ERA, but I don't know that anybody ever will. That pitches a whole season. It's just amazing stuff. So I thought I'd do, like, just for fun, a little bit of role play here where I will play both the role of the Braves and the Mets, and the Braves are talking to the Mets and saying, "Hey, Mets, what's up? We'd like to offer you an all-expense paid dinner at a really, really nice restaurant just because we think that much of you." And the Mets look back at the Braves and say, that's a really generous offer, but you know what? We're really not all that hungry, so thanks, but no thanks. And that's sort of the way I feel about the last, you know, several games, is that the Braves are on the worst skid they've been on since May, and they've lost 4 out of their last 5, and if we had won these games against teams that we should be winning against, we could have, made that lead go up to, 3.5 games. But instead, we're still with this tenuous lead of a half game, and now we've got Pittsburgh coming in, and we've got to take 3 out of 4 from Pittsburgh. There's just no two ways about it, and stop the bleeding here. So I came up with a couple of what I hope you will find interesting stats, and they'll come up on the screen as soon as I do this. Okay, so these are the batting averages of all the Mets players over the last 12 games, and they've gone 5-7 during that stretch. Escobar has been on fire. 432, 19 for 44. Nito has been hot recently. Of course, he's being platooned, not playing as much, but still, 429 average. Guillorme's only been back for a couple of games. Jeff McNeil is in the competition for winning the batting title. He has hit 381. McCann, 316. And then it starts to drop off, and you'd hope that Lindor and Alonso would be doing a little better than 255, but Alonso has shown some signs of getting his power back the last couple of games, so that's encouraging. Canna, who has been very valuable at times over the last 12 games, just 244. Nimmo, our leadoff hitter, only 217. And then you look at Vogelback and Ruff. I mean, we're basically just giving away the DH. 161 and 071. I mean, they're just not producing at all. And then down toward the bottom, of course, you got Vientos that's just come up recently, and he's over 10 so far. So you look at all the at-bats and all the hits, and the team is hitting 271, which you're sitting there thinking, that's pretty darn good, right? And on the surface, it is. But let's break it down a little bit more. These are the number of runs scored in the last 12 games, the games that they've gone 5 wins and 7 losses. Now, they have scored 5 runs or more 5 times. Okay? That's great. However, they have scored 3 runs or less 7 times. So you've got this big standard deviation of performance in terms of runs scored, and when you average it out, it makes it look like you're doing okay. But the problem is you've got a whole bunch of games where you're scoring a ton of runs and then compensating for that, more than compensating for that, by having a lot of games where you barely score at all. And so that 271 average, incredibly misleading. The Mets, especially the last few games, have just not hit. And they've had runners in scoring position. Their average with runners in scoring position is just atrocious the last 3 games against the Cubs. So we got to turn this around quickly, and get that hunger back. I don't know if it's the fact that it's September and they're feeling the pressure now or whatever, but the Braves have certainly given them plenty of opportunities to gain ground, and they just have not taken advantage of it. So, all right, so it's on to Pittsburgh now, and hopefully, no pun intended, we can buck the system or buck the trend and win at least 3 out of 4 from these guys. We certainly should. They're not a team that should be all that intimidating. All right, so that's it for today. Keep your fingers crossed that things will start to turn around soon, and we will talk soon. Take care.